Hello and welcome to another Tonebase live stream. Welcome everybody here on Tonebase, but also welcome everybody on YouTube and on Facebook, because today we are going to do a public live stream. As you guys know, we are streaming regularly, but people outside of Tonebase might not know that. So welcome the streams like that. We have several of these per week and invite you to start a trial. Come over at www.tonebase.co and I'll see you over there. But today we have something very special prepared for you. Today we are going to talk about an iconic composer of the classical guitar, the father of the guitar and an icon of Spain. And I have no one less here than the wonderful, than the fantastic, than the absolutely phenomenal Jan Depreter. How are you doing, Jan? Welcome.
Hi, Martin. I'm fine. I'm terrific. It's very hot here. I don't know if it's as hot over there as it is here, but yes, it's been very good summer so far here in Belgium. So we are enjoying sunny days, and because it's summer holidays, there's extra time to practice, and that's great fun. Don't be alarmed if you see from time to time you see my cat passing by. I have a white ghost, sacred cat, and she likes to be inside the picture sometimes. So okay, but great to be back on Tonebase, and fantastic to be talking about one of my favorite composers of all time, Francisco Tarrega. Of course, I mean he's I mean, as you said, they say the father of the guitar, and he's just I mean he's written he has such an amazing life, and has an amazing outpour of work that we could discuss today, and let's have a look at what we can do, and that we can talk a little bit about his work, about his life, about the publications, and about what's the best way to start tackling Tárrega.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. So what was like, tell us a little bit, a little story. What was your very first, like, maybe you remember, what was your very first connection, your very first love story that you had with Francisco Tarrega?
Well, my very first teacher in Antwerpen, Mark Verlinden, I started playing the guitar, I think 83 or 84, must have been, and then he quickly surmised that I had a serious interest in Spanish classical music, because one of the first things that I was really passionate about learning was the Asturias arrangement, which is of course not originally for the guitar. But then after that, my teacher said to me, "Okay, look, Jan, maybe you might be interested into some original classical Spanish guitar music as well." And he gave me two very lovely pieces, and that was a very simple prelude that I used to announce this Tonebase today. I think I posted it today. I don't know if you've seen it, Martin, but so the prelude that in 1881 Francisco Tarrega had his very first. So he's 29 years old, and he's going to do his very first international tour, which was like really a big thing, because no airplanes, so everything was by boat, not really cart, but maybe some trains. It was very slow traveling, so it was not as hip and zip and zazzle and fast as we hop on planes like people used to be taking the bike. So anyhow, so Tárrega, 29 years of age, just being engaged to Maria, his future wife, and he's going to go to Odeon, Paris, play in the Odeon in Paris first, and then he's going to go on to London, where you just came from, isn't that right? Didn't you just?
That is absolutely correct. Yes, we just came back from London, which is why I look so sleep deprived at the moment. We've been producing wonderful content. We just came back with a production of Shu Fei Yang, and gonna release that at a point not too far in the future. So it was very exciting. You have you have something to announce in terms of festivals, and I think Shu Fei will be there as well, right?
Well, that's a very big surprise, but yeah, we are incredibly happy and proud to be announcing that in the 11th Antwerpen Guitar Festival, which is gonna, already started with a Belgian debut actually from Julia Trenchuk, who also did some videos for Tonebase. I think that are actually quite nice on placement of the left hand. Very good stuff. And she played her Belgian debut, big success here. And then next month we have Luciano Pompilio. Then I'm gonna do my own little concert. And of course we have the big stars on the big weekend, second weekend of November, that we're gonna have 11, 12, and 13 November. We're gonna have here in Antwerpen. We're gonna have Anabel Montesinos, also no stranger, I think, and Paco Seco, wonderful Spanish evening on Friday. On Saturday, we have Goran and Zoran. We have the Night of the Balkans. We have Goran Krivokapic and the amazing Zoran Dugic, who used to be my teacher in a former life. And then we have finally, of course, to top it all off, we have Artyom Dervoyet, the Tsar of the guitar, who is absolutely one of the most amazing guitarists in the world right now. And then after that, we have, and he's going to play like the complete Castillos de España. So it's going to be like super Spanish evening. It had never been done before here. So it's really cool. And then we have, I'm so happy to have my friend Shufia Yang with us to play the closing concert on Sunday together with Artyom. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. We have a competition. Do join us. Have a look at the website antwerpenguitarfestival.com. And .be. We are still in Belgium, yeah. And we're really excited about that. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. That sounds like an incredible lineup. Man, see what I can do. Maybe I'll pop over there because it's not too far. I'm based here in Germany and bringing live streams with people from all over the world right to you folks. So without further ado, my dear Jan, let us jump into the topic. Let us jump into the music of Francisco Tarrega.
Right. So when you want to tackle Tárrega, you have to first consider that there's about 80 to 90 original pieces, and he wrote almost 200 arrangements. It's incredible. So arrangements. So he knew Schumann, he knew Bayreuth, he knew Chopin very well. He loved Beethoven, the drama. He even did a very funny arrangement of the Fugue Thousand by Bach, it's absolutely a perfect example how you should not do it. But so I'm going to move away from these, let's say, transcriptions, which have merit. Some of them they're actually quite wonderful. The last pieces that he wrote at the end of his life, 1909, that Endecha Oremus, that he wrote, I think, 2 weeks before he died.
Wow.
So that's, that's that very, very famous. All that. That's actually from Kinderzähne and Schumann. So he's actually paraphrasing that wonderful music in his last piece that he's writing. Back to the very first encounter for me with the music of Francisco Tarrega. So after having played that piece that everybody has to play, but very, very, oh my God, very few people actually play it in a way that I find remotely interesting. So I'm still waiting actually for a fantastic version of that to emerge. But anyhow, so after that, my teacher gave me 2 scores. So 1881, he's in London, where you just were, and so Tárrega was a little bit down in the dumps and was like, hey, his fans were out after the concert. Maestro, what's wrong? What's the matter? And Francisco said, I'm a bit depressed. I'm a bit down. I've been engaged, and it's cold here in London, and it rains a lot, and so and he was missing his fiance, and he wanted to get back to get married, which incidentally he immediately did when he came back in Novelda. So, but then his fans said to him, "Okay, Maestro, why don't you write a piece about how you're feeling?" And that was the Prelude, which is Little Teardrop, which is everybody knows as like Lagrima. And it's a wonderful entrance to the musical world of Tárrega. The parallel sixth. And then you go to the minor part, very easy, second position, 2 fingers placement. Bit of a stretch there. And there you have it, really. Basically, repeat A, repeat B, and you have the form A, A, B, B. And then you just repeat in the rondo form, which Targa was very fond of, and you repeat the sixth, parallel sixth, ascending. Make sure that you put all the weight on the pink, on the little finger. Yes, I'm rewatching Game of Thrones now, so whenever I say little finger, I have to think about Harley the mustache. But okay, so think about the little finger, Lord Baelish, and then just push the weight there, you know, and make the connection with the fourth finger. Because if you do it with the first finger, you're gonna get the squeaks, squeak, squeak, squeak. And I was just watching Ice Age with my son, where you have this squirrel scrap and it's going down, you know, with the, and then that's basically like 90% of all guitarists sound in my ears because they got this.
Where's the squirrel? Sometimes when I listen to guitar concerts, I like.
I die.
Where's the mouse? You know.
There's a couple of guys that are fantastically good in avoiding it. I'm thinking about Gabriel Bianco. I'm thinking about Rafa, of course, Rafael Aguirre. And they are really, really good at avoiding that. Of course, you know, David Russell never makes a squeak. I mean, he's absolutely the squeak master. But yeah, I mean, make sure that, you know, the squeaks are only occurring in the bass string. So if you make the connection with the overlying voice, you know. I mean, you don't hear at all that there is no connection with the first finger, which hops like a little bunny rabbit, you know, hop, 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 and you make the connection with the fourth finger. It's such an easy trick to make it sound like the human voice, which Tarrega was constantly imitating. You have to think about it. If there's so many people that are playing it like, you know. I mean, if you don't use vibrato, I mean, if you don't connect it, the music is soulless, the music is uninteresting, and I'm gonna walk out of the room. I'm gonna leave and just let you play by yourself. I'm not interested. You need to engage your you know, so, and how you're gonna engage by absolutely making sure that you connect the melodic line, which is paramount. It's very important.
May I ask you a question about a general approach to this piece? How do you find the balance between not enough rubato and too much rubato? Because I've heard all the spectrum when it comes to that piece, and the way you were just performing that, it's like I thought you had a beautiful balance there when you're playing that. Because what I often hear, and I'm guilty of that myself, da da da, something like that. And then when I listened back to it, I think like, man, maybe a bit too much, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the question of good taste, of course, and that should be absolutely respected. But we have to think about when we are, more and more now from the 90s on, which was something that I was very much involved in as a singer. That we were starting to perform the music of Bach. Really, like here in Belgium, there was the big movement with the Kuykens, the Kuiken family, with La Petite Bande performing, amazing versions of the Brandenburg Concerti, all on period instruments, on gut strings, amazing. So if we're going to do that, we have to also think about the way that, how, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think that there are recordings of Tárrega in existence, maybe just one or two on wax rolls, very, very bad. But we do have a lot of information from his students like Fortea, Liobet, that was certainly recorded. And then besides Liobet, of course, Pujol, who lived until he was in the 1980s. These are the three important students that you have to consider. And then, of course, the very young Andres Segovia, that was 16 years old when Tarrega died and was frustrated out of his mind because he could not climb onto that very, very popular icon. He couldn't claim like I'm a student of Tarrega, so he preferred to say I didn't study with anyone. Big lie, of course, because he did take classes with Liobet and many others. But it's just another. Let's not go to Segovia. That's for another time. Let's go back to Tarrega. So timing is everything. Timing is very, very important. Now, when I was studying in The Hague with Zoran, he basically said that I could do anything I wanted as long as I didn't miss the beats. What you do in between, yeah, that's your, yeah. But when the beat is there, you need to be there.
Wow.
So that was kind of funny. So you have to kind of determine what is the amount of elastics that you want to take, because Paco de Lucia is famous for hating classical guitarists. I mean, he was. And the reason why he hated is siempre fuera de compás. Always classical guitarists, they can't play in compás. So the first thing that you need to do, there's like a million gazillion exercises. I think 300, yeah? 300 sounds like a
reasonable number.
Let's Sparta, guy with a beard, Zack Snyder movie. Anyway, so there's like 300 exercises, exercises, they're not really musically very interesting, I think, but it kind of shows us like a little bit about the pedagogic side of Tárrega, which I can tell you, it wasn't really all that. Tárrega was that good that the people were just, his system was, and this is documented, that people would just come and sit around Tárrega and watch him play, and that was the lesson.
Wow.
I wish I could teach like that. Anyway, so they would fire me. So anyway, there's this book, which is Gangue and Carfagna. They did a wonderful job for Berben. I know that you kids, you download everything for free from PDF, but these people, they made a wonderful effort in collecting this volume of studies, 34 studies. Like we start first with easy exercises, and then there's like 19 exercises, and then there is let me think, there's 15, yes, 15 like concert studies, and these are the famous ones. Now and also like the Recuerdos de la Alhambra was originally it was a study for tremolo. And then you go to the major part, la di da. There's lots of like exercises for doing the tremolo. We're not going to talk about that. Brian Lester wrote a wonderful little booklet, 10 euros, $10, super cheap, where you can have interesting exercises on the tremolo. To have a nice and equal tremolo, it's also very interesting to exercise two things: other finger combinations, not P, A, M, E, and not always. So also do the other reversal, like P, E, M, A. Secondly, you do not where the P has the P finger, so the thumb has the strong note, but you do the, so that you kind of exchange that the accent always switches from one to another. So this is a very good exercise which you can try. And then of course, when you start exercising this, I would not recommend to start with Recuerdos de la Alhambra. It was the third piece I played from Tárrega, and I played it on my debut, and especially for you, Martin, I kind of looked up the old score.
Oh, wow.
Here it is, 34 years old. Here is the old score of, I don't know if you can see it, but so there's like a shiny little cover on it, which my mother has put on it because I was 13 when I was studying this stuff. So this recording edition was really bought because I played it in my debut recital in Antwerpen at age 14. So that must have been in 1989. So very funny little detail there. So tremolo exercises, start if you want to, you need to know the chords. So you need to know the left hand. So don't immediately, you need to focus like on the chord progression. So, I mean, there's exercises actually in the study book by Tárga that I'm going to show you in just a few seconds that actually really explain that this is the way that Tárga recommends you to study. I'm going to show it to you in a minute, but now I'm just using the very famous Alhambra kind of chord progression for you, so that everybody can see. Okay, and I know that Tárga he stays on the second string, but anyway, I don't do it because I like the fact that it opens up here. That's my own personal interpretation. Just feel free, just be you, but this is the way that I do it. So then the second way that you do it is like you devise little arpeggios. And then the second step, of course, is you're gonna use like a fake tremolo, like an easy one, like the easy tremolo, like P, M, I. I don't know if it's clear for you. You see how I use the second finger on the first string to make the connection. Then I use the weight. I start leaning on the second finger so that my first finger can come behind and can put actually the barré ready, prepares the barré.
You know what? I saw that, but it's good that you repeated it for our viewers.
I've been, I'm celebrating 30 years of teaching now, so I hope that at least I'm starting to I'm almost
Almost there.
I'm getting a little bit better at it, right? So now it's very important that there's a crescendo. That's a fake crescendo because there needs to be sadness here. And it is only for the people that have very long fingers. And then you move to the more major part, which is the advocate of hope. Now you notice that I play the easy tremolo the whole time. It's just because it would make it more easy for you to focus on the connections in the left hand and to familiarize yourself with this rather difficult piece, but still very beautiful. I know that you're gonna want to start on it, and the people on the live stream, they're gonna want to play this piece for sure because it's so iconic. It's wonderful. So when it comes to etudes, that's like the tremolo etude that you have to have done.
Recuerdos was actually the piece that was my entry level into, let's say, the pro guitar world. I had classes with in a very small Bavarian town. I'm a little Bavarian boy, and but my one of my first guitar teachers, she had a guitar by Hermann Hauser. And she gave me this recording of Julian Bream, where Recuerdos at Alhambra, and she said she cannot do the tremolo, but you should go to this guitar festival and ask everybody about tremolo. And it was actually the guitar festival by Hermann Hauser, and this was how I met the Hermann Hauser family, how I get to know all the tradition. And I was this little boy of 12 years old who went there and thought that he could learn tremolo when he goes to a guitar festival once, which I did not learn. It was a long journey for me to learn tremolo, but this was like Recuerdos was the entry for me.
Well, that's a beautiful personal story because perseverance is so important, and for that you need motivation, and the motivation is there because of the beauty of the piece. The aesthetics of the Recuerdos de la Alhambra, I mean, the emotion that is behind it is so strong. When Tárrega is taken under the wing of Jacobi, and they're being given like this little apartment that he can live with Maria in Granada, and they go walking there. And of course, the Alhambra is a palace in ruins then. But the most valuable thing, I don't know. Have you ever visited, Martin? Have you ever visited the Alhambra Palace?
I was in Granada. It was another production tour that we had actually with Steve Goss, Zoran Dukic, and David Russell. And but like it was so crazy. Like Steve went to the Alhambra, but I was there and I didn't have time to visit because my suitcase with all my gear like was left at the airport by the it was ridiculous. But which meant I never visited the Alhambra. No, I'm sorry about that.
You really should. It's worthwhile. I went after the Segovia competition many years ago, and I booked like 2-3 extra nights afterwards because I wanted to see Granada, visit the guitar makers, the Marin family, Paco Santiago, Antonio, went to see them, and of course I visited the Alhambra, and it was like 6 or 7 January, and I went at 7 o'clock in the morning, like extremely early, and there was no one there.
Nice.
I was the only one in the palace gardens, And what is, to a desert people, what is more valuable than gold?
No.
Water. So that's the reason why in the 1,000-year-old Nasridian palaces like El Patio de los Leones, El Jardín de la Linda Raja, and so on and so on, so on, so on, that they use the melting water of the Sierra Nevada around the mountain range around Granada, and then they actually, the engineers, the Moorish engineers, they were so clever that they actually achieved in making something that worked for 1,000 years. Amazing. So everywhere, in every little corner, there is the sound of water. Yeah, the little drops of water, little fountains of water, little, like beautiful little trompe-l'œil effects with mirrors, like little not ponds, but like beautiful terraces of water everywhere. So that was the Caliph's main, the Nasridian chief of Granada at the time. For 700 years, the south of Spain was controlled by the Muslim world and by a culture that was far more advanced as the Western culture at that time. And one of the beautiful proofs of that is the Alhambra. And Alhambra, it means actually the red rock, because the castle is built, in the evening sun. It is a red rock. It's red. It's glowing red. It's phenomenal. And so there you have all these little fountains. Now imagine the following thing. Tárrega was born in 1852, and as a 3 or 4 year old boy, he loved to run away from his home, and he falls into an irrigation channel, and he loses his sight. So I don't know if you know, but Tárrega was like virtually blind. He was almost like completely blind. But and this is because of an accident. He was not born blind. As a boy, he ran away, and so he could like discern between shadows and like shapes, but his sight was virtually blind. And imagine for a blind guy who does not see the pomp and the gold and the blue and the velvet and the azure of the beautiful Alhambra, but he hears it in the garden. He constantly hears these little fountains of water. So you hear the fountains, they are everywhere, the water is everywhere, and then you have the major part. So that's my take on the recorders on when it comes to the studies. Another wonderful, but it's not like the study I would recommend to start with. There is a lovely little book also by the same Gangi and Carfagna by Berben, Opere per Chitarra, and they I think they did this volume with the studies. And they actually, they I don't know if you can see it, but they have actually really categorized it very well in a way so that you can do the exercises. But then apart from those guys, you have to, excuse me for a minute because I'm getting old and I'm losing my sight. There is this book. I don't know if you can still get it, but it was made by a German guy that was pretty big deal back in the day. I don't know if anyone knows him still, but his name is Karl Scheidt. Yeah, there you go. And he kind of made this like booklet, which start out really with an easy etude, etude number 1, and it's in E minor, and it's a fantastic starter. It's an absolutely great starter. For anyone who wants to start with Tárrega, this is a very good place to start because it's a piece, it sounds nice, and you don't need to destroy your left or right hand, for it's not that hard. There's a barré in it. And an easy harmonic at the end, on the 12th fret.
Beautiful.
It's very beautiful, it's very Tárrega, and it's absolutely possible. It's not that hard, and it's as a low entry into the world of the music of Francisco Tarrega when it comes to studies. That's a very nice one. I mean, please do the 300 exercises in the other book that are right over there. But this is a very nice way to start with Tárrega, and I start my students off with this stuff, not with the exercises.
Beautiful. We have several questions, and we are closing into the end of our live stream. We thought about doing 60 minutes, but we will still continue with that. But I just want to encourage everybody, if you have any questions, we are here and we want to answer them. So feel free while we have Jan here for this amount of time. But we do have 2 questions now, which I would like to refer to you, my dear Jan. So the first question was, when we were talking about tremolo, you were mentioning a book. The question is by Barney. What was the name of that book on tremolo? I didn't get that as well. What can you repeat that?
Well, I don't have the book is in my library, which is upstairs. So the name of the book is The Tremolo.
The Tremolo. Nice.
That's it. That's the title of the book, and it's published by Ricordi, and the composer's name is, I think he's still alive. He's a UK composer, and I love him very much, and his name is Brian Lester. Brian Lester. That's his name.
Perfect. I will just write this in the chat so people have that information. Writing this in the chat on Facebook, on Tonebase, and on YouTube, so everybody has that. So thank you so much. The second question that we have by David, which is an interesting one, is Tárrega known to have improvised in public, or did that tradition have already ended in that time?
Well, I think that we can safely say that Tárrega, although that he was classically trained as a composer, and he did play the piano, so we can safely say that he's not just a guitarist. He absolutely was a composer. We have to, take into account that Tárrega very, very, very probably, like Chopin, that some composer he admired enormously, that he wrote his pieces while playing the guitar, while improvising on his guitar. So I am like almost 99.9% sure that Tárrega, for sure, he will have made some improvisations on stage that he, he was playing around with a theme and he wanted to try it out, and stuff like that just doesn't happen. It just he, when you listen to these variations, you listen to for sure it's being improvised. Gran Jota Aragonesa, same thing. Hang on, how is it? He's gonna have improvised with. We can be sure that he will to try it out on a test audience. Very much like, I think that also Roland Diaz did when he was still alive. I don't know if you had the chance to see him, meet him. Wonderful, wonderful person. great, very intelligent person also, but very warm, very giving, very caring, but also great composer. And much of what he did came out of also out of improvisation. So I think that we can safely assess that Tárrega was likewise.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And Barney asked actually a question to me, but I'm referring that to you as well. He's asking, Martin, what speed do you think Jan is playing Recuerdos? Let's talk about this in general, the speed of tremolo. What's your approach to that? Because I was guessing it's around between 120 to 140. That was my guess, but I don't think it's anything about beats per minute for you, right?
Beats. It's not about beats per minute. That's not that's not the essence of it. Because it's also a concert performing piece, you know. Same thing with the etudes by Villalobos. You know, you have people that play that extremely fast, and I go like, yes. It's like when you have a Porsche and you have a Ferrari, yeah, where you know Porsche, Ferrari, yeah, but you don't know how to drive. So the only thing you achieve is you're gonna fold that very expensive $1 million car. You're gonna fold it around the tree very fast. So many players they get to these incredible speeds. Speed is only there as a tool to achieve a certain musical end. And if you work for speed, which is fine when you're doing the studies and the exercises, but when you do that and make it a priority, when you prioritize just the factor speed, you're kind of missing the point. So the thing is that, of course, when you play Recuerdos, when you play like I mean, you're going to be nicknamed Prince Valium. That's not what you want. You for practice purposes for sure, but you need to have a certain flow because water flows, and the Alhambra is about water, and the water is about the tremolo, and the tremolo is an imitation of the water, so it should be at least this speed. Then you have the people who are playing it at this speed.
That's scary.
They just had too much coffee. I mean,
probably
they caffeinated the hamster, and I would tell to those people, dial it down a bit on the Red Bull.
Well, I think what like one of the reasons why some people play so fast, because it's so darn hard to make the tremolo even and flowing and like still with full sound, and you're hiding behind. I think that's my hypothesis. You can hide behind the speed of the tremolo if you don't have a beautiful tremolo.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna walk out, right? You're not gonna stay for the concert. The only thing that you are achieving by doing this is you get boring very fast.
It sounds like a mosquito.
Yeah. I mean, I can do it, but what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point exactly?
The roundness of the tone, the evenness, and the clarity of the attack. These are things that you need to focus on. Oh, that's my cat.
I have two more questions for you. One personal question, because we've tackled that with another production that we did. What's your opinion on all those repetitions that are actually in the score?
That's a very good one. I like this question. Why? Because people had more time back then. People
Fantastic,
stopped.
fantastic.
They worked on the people that came to the concert, Martin. They were working their potatoes in the field, and they stopped at 4. They stopped at 4. Why? Because they went to bed. They got up at 5, of course, but they went to bed when the lights go out. Why? Because there was no electricity almost in La Campaña in the. So thing is, people had a lot and lots more time. They didn't have Snapchat, WeChat, Instagram, Tinder, all this bullshit that makes your life totally miserable. Facebook, I'm sorry, I'm banned for this, but all this stuff that is really, it's I call it, it takes away the attention. They are, this is stuff that kind of derails the train of thought. How many times, Martin, have you wanted to do something and you made a list of things that you have to do, and then you thought, oh, hang on, there's this song that I like very much. Oh, and there is this advertisement, of this game that I love to play, and oh, I really feel like having an ice cream right now. And then,
Excuse me,
and
I
then
gotta get an ice cream now.
we you know what I mean? We get
Yeah.
to this point that we get derailed the train of thought, and these guys, they could really focus. So all these repetitions in the Baroque, for instance, they were made, and when you like this, you do that, and then the second time you add the appoggiatura, the ornaments, and the ornamentation, all that stuff that I can write a book about the Baroque ornaments. So we have to suspect that probably Tárrega, when he did the repetitions, because he's not that far away. Baroque is, for him, the Baroque is 100 years ago.
True.
Think about it. So when he's doing the repetitions, because he repeats, he's gonna do something extra, something special, a little. So, but in my opinion, when I play, when I compose like a concert program, Martin, I see it like a chef, like that, making a menu. And so you need something sweet. You need something salty, you need something to make people laugh, and you need something to make people cry and make people think about their lives, and maybe something with some spiritual meaning. So something in minor key, and something in major key. And there you have it.
That makes me think that I want to check my smartphone. Why is that?
Why is that? Because the guys that were doing the marketing of Nokia in the 90s, the older people, they know this. Between the 19 and 2010, this piece was known as like the Nokia tune, and it was used to promote the Nokia, which was the biggest. Not smartphone, because they didn't exist, but like mobile phone builder at that time, and they had this tune because the guys that were the Levs and the Olaf Ericssons and whatever, the guys that were doing the Finnish company Nokia, which actually exists already since the 19th century also. So, but when they were the biggest manufacturer of mobile phones, then this guy said, well, I'm playing this piece by Tárrega, and and they started using that theme and the grand valse itself was used for their big promotion. So they used Nokia, connecting people, and that was like the big slogan, that, connecting people globally with a mobile phone before the internet changed the world forever as we know it. So that was at the time in say 2009 something. It said that this tune was heard over 2 billion times every day. 2 billion times a day. Now imagine if the kids and the grandkids of Tárrega had author's rights on that. They would be richer than the Queen of England.
Yeah.
2 billion times a day, every day, for years. This. So
incredible.
And that's Tárrega. I know not many people know it, but that's Tárrega. And it even happened to me when I was doing an encore after the Concerto de Aranjuez, a performance with orchestra I did, and a phone went off. It was like 2010 something, and a phone went like this, and I went like this, and I stopped playing and said, "Come on. Switch off your phone. You want me to play that piece? Okay, I'll play that." And I switched and I played that piece. And luckily, everybody thought it was funny and people started laughing. But now, I mean, the young people, the 20-somethings, they don't know. They don't know this. But for us, old geezers, old gray wolves, for us, it's still very funny because it's the mobile phone tune. There's so many pieces from Tárrega that everybody knows that is in the common brain, in the common memory. But like the one I sent you, that was used in the '94 hit film with Johnny Depp.
Bravo. We have one more question, like one very technical question, also on the still on recuerdos. The question is by Norman. How do you minimize like the thumb in a recuerdo so that the melody comes out? So how do you balance like the tremolo part with the bass arpeggio accompaniment?
Well, the thumb is still under discussion if the thumb is really a finger. It's not. So the opposable thumbs is what makes us different from the animal kingdom, and But read the book on how the cat is there. The animal kingdom is there on cue. So maybe read the book by Jordan Peterson. But the cat is still there. Oh, where is she? So the thumb can be very strong. It can be very powerful. Very strong and very loud. It can be very dominating. But what you hear now is I made a little crescendo and then I moved away again in the tremolo, because you have to control the tremolo, even though that it's going very fast. You need to be able to make it move like water. You need to add a little bit of the pressure, and that's the key, pressure. You need to be able to control the pressure. So the thumb, if you're going to go all Arnold Schwarzenegger on this, you're not going to get good results. mean, that's maybe that's good for rap and hip hop music, but you know, for instance, why not, Norman? Why don't you just put your fingers on the, and I mean the AMI fingers, you put them on the first string, and why don't you like take the first the first you know, no matter how you want to play it, this or this, and you start playing the first note, which is important, which is the first beat, has to be a little bit louder, and then the second. I don't know if you can hear the difference. And then you go away again. You need to be able to make, like with like the sea, like the tides, you know, the tidal waves, ebb and flood. You need to be able to come and you need to be able to go. And for that you need to control in this finger, which in the thumb, which is not a finger, you need to control a deep attack and a superficial attack that becomes deeper when you make stuff more interesting, when you directional music is very important when you want to give music direction, when you go somewhere. So you start, Tárrega wanted you to start on the second string because it's much darker. And then I changed the first string because I like it. I'm going to add a little bit pressure because I'm going to add for the intensity of the note. It's gotta hurt a little bit there. Big stretch, but you gotta do it like with a poker face there. That's Guitar Man. A little bit of drama there. Everything opens up here. Little joke there. Keep a little bit of reserve because here you need to go deep. It feels like we are doing a little, like we are doing a masterclass on the Recuerdos de la Alhambra, which was not what we intended to do. But I mean, it's the most iconic Tárrega piece, so I accept a little wager there. But to get that level of control, you need finger independence. The fingers need to be very independent. You need to be independently in control of what the thumb is doing, and of course of the three fingers that are responsible for the tremolo.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We have two more questions about some two wonderful topics. The first question of these is about like it's a comment, but it flows into a question. Jan's guitar and strings seem very sensitive and responsive to vibrato. So of course we know already it's a wonderful Romanios guitar that you have, but maybe you can also dive a little bit into the topic of strings on the guitar.
Well, this is a little bit touchy thingsy because, of course, you know, everybody knows since almost for 20 years now. I'm an official Savares artist, so Savares strings are the best.
Good to know. Fantastic.
Well, I mean, okay, now you know, I've played when I started my career. I played on La Bella strings. And then I changed in my teens, I changed to Hanabach strings, which I liked a lot. They sounded amazing, but they sounded amazing for exactly 60 seconds. You know the movie Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yes.
That's Anabach strings. The sound is totally gone. It's dead. It's bye-bye. Sayonara this. It's gone. So I decided I cannot work like this. So then I changed to the D'Addario strings. And then with the D'Addario strings, they were really great. And but I hated the third string. So there was Italian, I don't think that they still exist, this Italian brand of strings called Pirastro. And they had this third string which were really nice. And I'm talking 90s now, 1990. And then I got introduced to the world of Savares. And then I've you know, during the competition years, I've been playing almost exclusively on the Savares Alliance high tensions, but on my, you know, the double top guitars. And so when you're doing the concertos, finals, and you're doing the chamber music, you're fighting the big 80-piece orchestra. You need these high tension guitars, the double top guitars. But me, Marcin, Marco, you know, everybody is like going back from these very powerful guitars and going back to the traditional instruments, like this 92 Romanillos guitar that, of course, I love very much. And I remember speaking to Jose in 93 or 94, and he said, I remember him saying that you should never put high tension strings on a traditional built guitar. He said that. The thing is, high tension strings, they will allow you to go deeper inside the string so that you get the trampoline effect. So if you go deeper inside the string, then the sound that comes out is going to project much further. So it's going to be really great. But because the tension is so high, you will not be able to manipulate it with the left hand, which is, you know, which is all the difference for us between a guitar and a piano. So that makes the difference. What you can do to manipulate after the note is born, the note is being born, and then has a short lifespan. We don't have the arc of the violinists to make it go forever and to add pressure and to do the big crescendo. So everything happens into, like Segovia Stoll from Villalobos. The guitar is a miniature orchestra. It's miniature. Everything is miniature. The dynamical scope is miniature. So it demands a very high level of attention from the listener into a guitar concert, as well as from the guitarist a great guitarist doesn't play with his fingers, he plays with his ears. So, I've been working together with Savares now to create a string that is really lovely for these traditional sound guitars. And we have this, it's an orange set, it's a 512, it's a Savares creation set that I like to use on many of my guitars. But, you know, from time to time there will be an Augustine string will be there, or a Savares string, a D'Addario string will sometimes appear on one of my guitars, you know, even though that most of my guitars and all my concerts and of course all my recordings are made on Savares strings.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. The last question that we have for today is by Sam Lopez, who has been very active in the chat and very insightful and very knowledgeable. Thank you so much for your active participation in the chat. Sam is asking, and I can bring this question up on the screen because he used the Q&A function. The question is, I know this about Tárrega, but if we have time, could Maestro Depreter share his approach to nail length? Good one.
It's the essence. I mean, he nails it. I mean, that's the biggest. You don't know this, but when I was having my first formation in the Lemes Institute, there was these two schools, and there were like pro nails and against nails. And the motivation that they did is that in 1902, Tárrega cut his nails. He cut his nails and he says, well, this should be the sound, and a lutenist would play like that. And it's bullshit. I'm a trained lutenist. I studied the lute for many, many, many years. And I can tell you, yes, the Renaissance lute is being played without nails. But the Teorbo, the Baroque lute, they are being played with nails, for sure. We know this. So all this idiot discussion about no nails or nails, I wanted to talk about this. So Sam, thank you a lot for bringing it up, because I can tell you firsthand that the reason why Tarrega cut his nails was physical. It was not a musical based decision. You know that Tarrega suffered from a stroke, and so his nails were actually loosening. So the nails were getting, from the nail rim, they were getting looser and looser. So that, Tarrega ultimately decided, okay, it's pointless. I mean, the nails, they don't stick. They don't, I'm going to cut them because I can't use them anymore. But think about this. Tarrega has done his entire concert performing career from 1881 or 1880 approximately to 1902, because he retired from the concert platform when he had the stroke. He played with nails. Of course you should play with nails. You have Emilio Pujol in La Escuela Razonada, who is a student of Tarrega, who goes to say, like, you should play without nails. No, it's ridiculous. Tarrega played all his pieces were played with nails. Nail length, Sam, is easy. You take a light and you hold the fingers up to the light, and you need to be able to see the top of, you need to see a little white line. And I'm going to show you my nails, and so you can have a look. But all nails are different, right? I don't know. Can you see my nails?
I can see them perfectly.
I specially filed them for you, Martin.
Oh, thank you. I feel very, very, very honored.
So now you have a look at. So you see that they're failed. That the filing of the nails is a little bit special. It's not really straight. I'm sorry. It's very weird to keep it straight. But it's so that here at this side, at the top, that you have the flesh, which provides the fullness and the warmth and the roundness of the tone, because the attack, of course, should always be like this, not like this. No. It's like this with the side, and like Segovia used to teach. It's in the book by Vladimir Bobry, the Segovia Technique, 1973. You can't get that book anymore, but I can tell you what is in the book. And Segovia says you should throw your nail over to have my amazing sound. You should throw your nail over the left shoulder. That's what Segovia said. How to get that amazing sound. You kind of do that. And for that you need to have this specific nail shape, which is, I don't know if you can see it, which is slightly tilted. For I and M, and which is completely half moon round for the A. And of course, this depends a little bit on the shape of your fingers, because of course, all our fingers are crooked. Mine are, yours are, and none are identical. But this is filed steep, and this one is round like a half moon. So the nail length you've seen. And I've completely dispelled the myth also for once and forever. I don't want to have anybody that is vying for the intergalactical nincompoop idiot of the year that wants to say, okay, when you play Tarrega, you should play without nails. Well, yes, then you just won the Dr. Stupido award. It's useless. Tarrega played all his concerts with nails, and he cut them off because he had a stroke, and his nails were literally getting loose from his fingers. So he decided in the end to cut them out of physical necessity, not for musical purposes.
Fantastic. Jan, thank you so much. This has been insightful. This has been inspired and, of course, infused with a love for sound and for the beauty of the tone, and of course the beauty of the classic guitar and your performance. And I think it was our third or fourth live stream so far that we've done, and I'm always so excited first and so honored to talk to you in front of our audience here, because I enjoy it so much. It's like you have okay, let me like butter you. It's like you have this amazing quality where you have a modern approach, a modern sound, but with a beauty and playful colorness that I rarely find in modern day artists. And it's for me, it's truly inspiring, because it shows just how much you dare to do and how much you love to do what you're doing. And for that, and for translating this into the digital world for the whole world to see, it's an honor and it's a joy to see. Absolutely.
This is my pleasure always talk to you, and of course to the many tonebase fans that are out there and watching the show and enjoying the music of that I love, the Tárrega. So I do really hope that everybody out there is inspired to get the old box out and take some scores, some PDFs, and start working. At Tárrega's music, there is Tárrega's music at every level. There is the very hard stuff that you will hear us play in the concerts, but there are also the very easy, like the Lagrima I played at the beginning, the very easy stuff. The mazurka, some of the mazurkas are really easy, very beautiful. Some of the etudes are really easy and very beautiful. I hope that I had a little bit more time so I could say, okay, guys, if you want to start, this is the mazurka to start with, this is the waltz to start with, this is the polka to start with, this is, I got a little bit time to say this is the etude, but I really enjoy the tone-based live streams, and I think it's an amazing platform where people all over the world can enjoy content like this. So thank you very much for making it possible, Martin, even though that I know you need to go to bed because you need to get up very early. You go to Switzerland tomorrow at 6. And I'm going to go to Germany tomorrow at 6. Also, so I need to go up very, very early. Yes. We have in the Antwerpen Guitar Festival, we have an amazing thing. Of course, you know that unfortunately José Romanillos passed away before his 90th birthday. So we amassed his favorite students and assistants, and they made four special guitars. And I'm going to do a concert with 4 original Romanillos guitars and 4 special copies by Michael Cadiz, Stefan Nitschke, and Tobias Braun, who studied with Romanillos for many, many years since 1984. And of course, Gerhard Oldiges, who I have a long-standing relationship with, and who worked with Romanillos for 10 years. And he made a copy of the 1973 Julian Bream Romanillos. And of course, Gerhard has correspondence, has been writing letters with Julian Bream for years and years. I read those letters. It's like this much letters. And so he has all this detailed information, and he made 73 Romanillos copy, and it's finished, and I'm going to get it in 2 days. So I'm very excited to see what it is. And maybe we can do another episode with that one once it comes out.
I would love to do so, and I cannot wait to do that. Let's do that. So everybody, thank you so much for joining in. Again, Jan, thank you so much for doing this and introducing us into the world of Francisco Tarrega. So everybody, thank you for participating in this in today's workshop, in today's live stream on Tonebase, but also on Facebook and on YouTube. If you want to sign up, please head over to tonebase.co and sign up for a trial. We have a 2-week trial, and you can see these live streams weekly. We do at the moment we do 3 of these live streams per week, and every week. So this is a bunch of additional content that you you get to see. So again, thank you so much. And Jan, thank you so much for participating. It has been the greatest pleasure. And everybody on your TVs, on your smartphones, and on your computers, thank you for joining us into this live stream. And I will see you over the course of the next week and very, very soon. So everybody, take care and bye-bye.